Prynhawn da blwyddyn 4 Miss Carty sy'n yma. Heddiw dwi am wneud fideo bach yn egluro i chi sut i weithio allan ffactorau a cwblhau weithgaredd bach o'r enw pryfed ffactor. Mi fyddai'n cario ymlaen gyda'r fideo yma yn y Saesneg, jyst i sicrhau bod pawb yn deall beth sy'n mynd ymlaen yn y fideo a falle bydd pobl gallu helpu chi adre gyda'r gwaith hefyd. So we'll be continuing in English. Today we are going to be learning all about factor bugs and how to work out the different factors of numbers. The main thing we need to remember when we're working out our factors is our multiplication tables. They really will help us to find the correct answers to these questions. If you are unsure of your multiplication tables, what I would do is maybe write down a list of tables just so you could check back on, or use a multiplication square. I have attached a multiplication square to a previous assignment, but I will attach it again to this one as well, save you all scrolling down. Okay, so factors, very simple, are basically all the numbers that multiply together to create the number in the middle. Okay, so that is the number that we're trying to find the factors for. So this is number 10. So to start with, we need to think of all the numbers that times together, multiply together to create 10. Now, you're probably all starting to think of the numbers already. So we need to find a way of placing these on our factor bug. Now, Miss Carty always starts with the antenna, which is at the top of the bug here, they come out. And I usually start with the simplest table, which is the 1 times table, because as we know, every number appears in the 1 times table. So I start to think, okay, well, what times by 1 creates 10? Now, very simple. 10 times 1 creates 10. So we have our two first factors already. We have number 1 and number 10. Now, number 1 is a factor for every number. So if you're even stuck on how to begin, always begin with number 1, because then at least you've got two factors down already. Now, 1 times table's done. Now we need to think, does number 10 pop up in any other times table, any other multiplication table? Now, number 10 is an even number, which means straight away that it is in the 2 times table, because 2 times table is all even numbers. Now, if I move down now to create the legs of the factor bug, we can see that it's starting to take a little bit of shape now. We put number 2 down, because 10 is an even number, it is going to be in table 2. What times by 2 makes 10? Well, 5 times by 2 makes 10. Brilliant, so now we have 4 factors. We have 1, 10, 2, and 5. Now we can think, does number 10 pop up in any other times table? Now this is when things start to get a bit tricky, because what we might find is that some numbers are going to repeat themselves. For example, number 10 appears in the 5 times table. 5 times 2 makes 10, but we don't need to write that because we've already written it from the 2 times table. Okay, so we don't need to keep writing the same number down. If you find that you've already written 2 and 5, you don't need to write them again. Okay, now, other than that, number 10 does not appear in any other table. So we are done. We have found all the factors. So number 10 has 4 factors. 1, 2, 5, and 10. Okay, you don't need to write them as a list underneath. I just find that sometimes putting them in order makes it a bit clearer for whoever's marking the work. Now, we're going to move on to the second number here. Now, this is a larger number, 24. Larger numbers do sometimes have more factors, but don't fall into that trap. It doesn't happen every time, but I've chosen number 24 because it does have a lot and does a bit more of a thinking process for us. Okay, so we're going back to the previous order. We start with the antenna. Now we always fill the antenna with table 1. 1 times 24 makes 24. So our 2 first factors are already done. Now we need to think, does 24 pop up in any other table? 24 is an even number, exactly the same as number 10, so it is definitely in table 2. Now here's the tricky bit. What times by 2 makes 24? Well, we go through our tables, we'll find out pretty quickly that 12 times 2 makes 24. There we go. So we've got 4. Now, like I said before, 24 is quite a popular number. It does pop up in lots of other multiplication tables. It also pops up in table 3. What times by 3 makes 24? 8. 8 times by 3 is 24. Same as 3 times 8 is 24. Next one. What other table does it pop up in? It pops up in table 4. What times 4 makes 24? 6. Okay, and there we have it. 24 is a very popular number, and as I said, if you go through the tables, you will find that it is in table 6, and it is in table 8 and table 12, as well as these ones. But like I said, you don't need to keep writing the same ones because you'll be here all day. So as long as you've written them once, that's fine. You don't need to write them again. So like I did before, I'm just going to put them in order from smallest to largest, and then we can count properly to see how many there are. Okay, so 24 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 factors altogether. And there we have it. That is how we figure out factor bugs. And like I said, times tables really do help us in this situation. So if you need to use a multiplication table, go for it. Anything you need to help you out, just use it, because it's there to help us, isn't it? And if you ever need any more help, just please give me a message on Class Dojo or Google Classrooms, and I will try to help as much as I can. If you'd like to see any more of these videos, please give me a message or comment. I will, more than happy to make a bit more of a explanation videos for you to use at home. But like I said, thank you very much for all your hard work. Diolch yn fawr am eich gwaith caled. Mae Miss Katie and Mr Phillips yn gwerthfawrogi pob dim dych chi'n neud. Myself and Mr Phillips really do appreciate all the hard work you're doing at home. I know it's a confusing time, but we all just need to stay safe and stick together. Hwyl fawr!